Well, good evening and a warm welcome to Craven Park, the Northern Competitions Stadium. Put my teeth back in for one of the biggest nights in many a year here for Barrow this evening. It's Challenge Cup Rugby. It's under the lights. It's Barrow Raiders against Super League opposition in York Knights. I'm Dan Payne. Alongside me is Graham Dale. Strap yourselves in because this could be an absolute classic. And Graham, we're excited for this one. Could we see a potential upset?
Well, there is an upset on the cards, and tonight it's a lovely, cool, crisp night. Thank God for a change. And like you say, these come well armed for the Super League, but they've only had one game competitively, and they lost that. So they're still gelling. So with a bit of luck, they can put them on the back foot and keep them there as long as they can. Yeah,
so we will run through the lineups for you shortly before we try and dissect the head-to-heads we've got tonight, starting with Barrow Raiders. Then the one big change for them, he was missing last week in that 38 points to 4 victory against Salford, but he's back in tonight. The captain, Ryan Johnston, in at number 7. So starting at fullback, it's Luke Cresswell. 4 tries already for the Raiders fullback this season. Luke Broadbent and Curtis Tier on one side, with Manny Costello moving back into the centres alongside the speedster T. Ritson. Brad Walker will partner up alongside Ryan Johnston in the halves, with Joe Bullock and Tom Walker as the props. Josh Wood slotting in as hooker. Ellis Robson and the former captain Jared Stack will play at second row. Jared Stack's first start of the season. And Ryan King at loose forward this evening. Interchanges for the Raiders. It's the return of Alex Bishop with Ellis Archer, who's had a great start on his return to this Barrow Raiders team. Charlie Emsley and Greg Richards. Vast amount of experience in there, but will it be enough to take on this vaster amount of experience in this York Knights team? Starting with the fullback then, Toa Matafa, with Ben Jones, Bishop and Sam Wood, Nicar Williams and Scott Galano. We've got Eta Hingano with Liam Harris, Paul Vaughan, Paul McShane and Xavier Varr, Oliver Field, Jesse D and the vastly experienced Jordan Thompson. A man I never get bored of watching is that guy, the loose forward for York this evening. Interchanges for the Knights then. We've got Deneve Bamforth, Jack Martin, Justin Sangare and King Vuni Yayawa. Danny Richardson will be the 18th player this evening. So Graham, you loved it. As soon as these team sheets came out, the first thing you did was look at the head-to-heads. Talk us through a couple we've got tonight, Graham.
Yeah, well, starting at hooker, you got Paul McShane, vastly experienced with Castleford, Super League winner, etc., etc. But opposite we've got Josh Wood, and he's noted for his defensive capability, and he's good at getting this Raiders team around the field as well. So they're gonna hopefully you have a big clash in the middle, and of course you got your big lads in the middles where it's going to be decided this game tonight. I think in where you've got Joe Bullock and Paul Vaughan. Paul Vaughan needs no introduction. Ex Warrington and at Wilderspool there, and he's full of aggression and go forward and defence, And then we've got a guy who doesn't need no introduction, Joe Bullock. He's done it himself. Wigan, Warrington, So tonight, his job is going to be try and run over the top of Paul Vaughan. That I would pay to see.
Well, you don't even need to pay to see it, Graham, because you're going to get it for free, and you can listen to every single second of it right here with us, totally uninterrupted all the way through, of course, via BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport on the app and the website. And if you want to go a little bit further, BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra all across the world. People are tuning in. Will they get their first taste of a Challenge Cup third round upset this evening here? So far in the Challenge Cup, there's been, I'd say, nothing close to an upset. Widnes, maybe 12 points to 25 at home to Leeds Rhinos. Castleford beating Doncaster by 14 points to 0, but the rest of the games are runaways really. Hunslet lost to Huddersfield 52 points to 6. Sheffield 6, Warrington 34 last night. If you were a Whitehaven or a Barrow fan, I think you'd have enjoyed that one. Workington Town 2, St Helens 98. Hull KR, the team that this York side will go up against next Thursday. They went out against Loch Lane with a record-breaking 104 points to nil victory. Hull FC, 60 points to nil victory against this new look Salford team. And of course, the two games we just discussed earlier. And then it brings us on to tonight, Graham. And I mean, there's been a couple of games there, like we say, Castleford by the 14 points, Leeds just by the 13 points. I can't see it. For some reason, I think Barrow have just started the season very, very well. They've got a very strong squad on paper. I can't see it being a runaway game. I can't see it being a 60-70-0.
Well, make no bones about it. The Raiders have what's impressed me more than the amount of points they've scored. Because people would say, they'd sit back and say that look at the opposition they've played. What they've done is they've bullied and defended really well. And that is going to be the marker that's going to be set tonight. That'll be tested by this York side, and it'll be about putting York on the back foot for the Raiders and keeping there as long as they can. Like you say, this York side, they'll start very quickly. They'll look to get early points on the board, just as Barrow have done. And like I say, it'll be that arm wrestle to see who does that first.
In terms of the team they put out as well, it looks like they've gone pretty full strength. They've gone for it this evening, albeit they've got a game, their Super League opener.
Yeah.
Against the big boys, Hull KR, on a Thursday night. It's not a massive turnaround for that.
No.
Do you think it's because it's the first competitive game of the season they've done something like that?
Well, I think it's just another step in the journey for Mark Applegarth at York. You know, he's got a good setup there, and what I like about York, there's a lot of controversy about teams and who's getting selected to go into the Super League. Me personally, I believe York have done it the right way. They've built the club, they've built the new stadium. You know, they're doing things right. You know, it's great. We've been to York a few times, haven't we, to the stadium, and it's always a good atmosphere. And they will no way be taking this Raiders side lightly today. You know, there's a lot of respect for Paul Crary and his coaching crew around these parts, and they'll be out to upset a few of the big boys tonight.
Well, if you are just tuning in here to BBC Radio Cumbria Sport and BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra, we are almost ready for some Challenge Cup Round 3 action. Barrow Raiders hosting York Knights of the Super League. York's first game competitively this season. Barrow have won their opening 3 fixtures. They also had an unbeaten pre-season campaign, and the last 3 games scoring 154 points, conceding just the 2 tries. It's going to be a fascinating contest, and we were touched on it earlier on in the preview, Graham, about the pitch. It was almost going to be delayed by 24 hours. There was a pitch inspection this morning at 11 a.m. There was a bit of standing water. The weather, it's been horrendous. It's winter. Yeah. It's South Cumbria. We expect nothing less. But in the position that Barrow are in, they do have to do a lot of training on this pitch. That's as well as the ladies team and the Furnace Raiders. As we can see here, it's been cut up right through the middle. I mean, the York team have come out and gone through some warm-ups, and already it's becoming a mud bath.
Yeah, well, I was just looking at it earlier, and I was actually here at 11 o'clock, Dan. I actually popped in just to see, and they were lining the pitch out. So, and I've just spoke to Luke Broadbent on my way in, the Raiders centre, and I asked him if it was dried up at all, and he said there's parts of it, there's areas that have dried up. And I must admit, looking at it from this time last Saturday night, it's not as shiny. There's not as many puddles. So, you know, it's just to be hoped that the Raiders can, like say, it's a little bit drier, mildly or marginally. They can look after the ball themselves and keep it off this York side.
And a man like yourself, Graham, vastly experienced, playing on probably more amateur pitches than professional pitches back in your day. Did these sort of conditions make it a bit of a leveller? Like if you were playing now and you were the underdog, would you prefer a pitch like this?
I reckon on a muddy 6 inches deep field, I could get a better start than T. Ritson, because his turbo feet would be sliding. And but it does, when they say it's a leveller, you know, it's slippy for both teams. They're only human. The mud, you know, when you get hit with the ball, sometimes it just lodges free and slips out. You know, there's not a lot you can do about it. But I mean, nowadays, you know, there are ways to carry the ball so you can try and keep it secure. But I mean, both teams will know that, and that's what they've got to do. They've got to look after the ball, but I do think the pitch does not look as bad as it did, and I think it might be a slightly less error-strewn game, which could be a sticking point for Barrow, because if York get it together and put it together like some of the players can as individuals, there's no doubt about the class that's going through the side. It could be a long night for Barrow.
So tactically then, obviously you'd expect Cresta to play to his strengths, attempt to get the ball out wide to the edges. You're probably going to see less of that tonight, which means we're going to go through with the forwards. Do you want to try and battle with these York forwards, or do you think Barrow should battle?
I think they'll have maybe put one or two tricks up the sleeve. They'll kick off, like you say. First of all, the first job will be to not make a bad start. You can't win a game in the first quarter of an hour. You can lose it. They'll want to start well, get to the kick, get a good kick away, chase it down really hard, and make York make mistakes. Now, if York make the mistakes, they can think, oh, we're a long way from home, and it tries to get that sort of atmosphere, and the Raiders can put them under more and more pressure. But like you say, they've just got to get started. I think I'm hoping they'll try some little tip-ons and that. Big Joe Bullock will take it forward, and he'll have his opposite prop with him, and just tip a little ball on, just to change the point of attack a little bit, just so that they can't get hits on. There's nothing worse as a forward than just getting the ball and running at three huge forwards in front of you. If you've just got a little switch of direction, little tip on, and just keep the defence guessing. That's what they've got to do, so they can't set themselves and plant themselves.
Well, the players are out onto the field for York Knights of the Super League. It's their first competitive run out of the season. For the Barrow Raiders, they've started completely undefeated. 154 points scored in their last 3 games, just the 2 tries conceded. It's Saturday night, it's under the lights. Will we be seeing their first Challenge Cup upset of round 3? York's season starts tonight. Barrow's chance starts right now. We'll run through the lineup shortly. It's going to be Barrow kicking this one off from right to left as we look at it from our position. And here we go then. Kick deep towards this left-hand side. Will the pitch be a leveller? Will we see some massive battles in the middle? The likes of Joe Bullock up against Paul Vaughan. Tom Walker against Xavier Varr. It's going to be a fascinating contest. 80 minutes to go in front of us. Which way will this one go? York then on the attack now. Quickly shifting up towards the 40-metre mark inside their own half. One thing we do lack in this commentary position, Graham, is light. Yeah, so you do have to bear with us. Massive shots going in there. Raiders letting them know that they are not here just to be another number on that team sheet, as York now move up towards the halfway, creeping inside the Raiders half, as Liam Moore, the referee this evening, indicates it's 5th and last. So it's a very high bomb, high into the air by Harris, testing the Raiders' top try scorer so far, Luke Cresswell. He's done well under pressure. Barrow start their first set off the 10, and I think we're going to see a lot more of these set starts from about this area, Graham.
Yeah. I mean, that was a really good a good first set. They held York really well, and then, like I say, York put the big bomb up, looking for a mistake. Now we'll see what the York have got in defence.
So Raiders now then shifting this one down the left side, a little bit of a drop of the shoulder. We'll see what happens with this player, and if you are just tuning in late, we will run through the lineups for you shortly. But Ellis Robson now for the Raiders takes them up towards the halfway. It is 5th and last. Ryan Johnston gets his angles, tries to get it over the head. It's a good kick.
It's a great kick, that.
Down towards the left-hand side. Work for Matafet to collect that ball. But a good chase as well, Graham. And so far, toe for toe until left. Spoke too soon. Penalty against the Raiders.
Yeah.
Just interference.
Yeah, a bit
in the
interfering at the ball there, at the ruck.
And it's little mistakes like that, Graham, that could come costly.
I mean, it's got to be one of them nights for the Raiders where they give very, very, very little away. to this York side.
York in their usual home colours. It's the black and yellow striped top with the black shorts and black socks on the attack inside the Raiders half. Raiders in their home strip as well this evening. The blue shirt with a white V going down the chest, blue shorts and blue socks, as York Knights now on the Raiders 30-metre mark, moving this one casually through the middle, just setting up some shape now as McShane looks towards his options. This ball is being shifted, very quick hands there towards the left hand side, a drop of the shoulder around Curtis Tier, trying to dart towards that left hand corner. Tackle is eventually made 5 metres out, just a few minutes gone, and once again it's the ginger jukebox, Josh Wood, with another massive hit. York now grubble that one through, trying to find the space. The ball's bubbling around. It's going to be stopped in play, collected by a Raiders shirt there, is it, Graham?
Yeah, it is, yeah. We fielded that. It's going to be a scrum down. I'm just waiting to see. I don't know if there's any other knock-ons or anything else. It's a York feed.
There must have been a knock-on in the process there. Brad Walker's picked up possession thinking that it's a Raiders scrum. But
just there, Dan, Paul McShane, this early in the game as well. That's how dangerous he is. He played here last year and he played in a dinner suit. Nobody got a finger on him.
York now moving out towards that right-hand side. They've created the space for themselves, and it's going to be the fullback, Toa Matahafe, going in with 4 minutes on the clock. It's the Super League side that get over first. It's now York Knights 4, Barrow Raiders 0, and it came for the back of that penalty, Graham.
Yeah, it did, yeah. They give field position away, and like I say, York have marched right up the full length of the field just about. Got awarded a scrum 10 metres out, and then just found the space on the edge. I'm just saying there, Paul McShane, he was 5-10 minutes into a game and he's 2-3 metres off the try line there, and he just dropped that ball onto his foot, dribbled it over the try line with a I think it was a prop following him, knowing what he's going to do, like a planned move, just try and get advanced past the defensive line, ways to break the line down. Yeah, well, very, very clever player.
It's York that strike first then. Nobody's panicking just yet. 5 minutes on the clock. Raiders 0, York 4. It's going to be Liam Harris setting up this conversion attempt here. Hasn't quite quietened the Raiders atmosphere in the crowd just yet. Not the biggest of crowds though, Graham, I will admit.
It's a bit disappointing, isn't it?
A bit of a punt taken, I think, on the Saturday night fixture with the home team, Barrow AFC, playing at Holker Street this evening, of course. Another defeat for them, 4 in a row now. Never mind that. It's about the now.
We're talking about a different shaped ball now.
Harris then. He'll have to get used to that.
Liam Harris, miss.
He'll have to get used to that South Cumbrian drift. It's gone wide left of the post, so the scoreline remains here at Craven Park, the Northern Competition Stadium. Raiders 0, York 4. You're listening live on BBC Radio Cumbria Sport via the BBC app and website, of course, and BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra joining us this evening for what will potentially be a Challenge Cup upset, but it's not going to the Raiders script so far. 5 minutes on the clock, and it's Toa Matahafe going over for his first competitive try. Yet again, more big shots coming in from the Raiders, Graham.
Yep, they're certainly well drilled this year, it looks like. Not that they've not been well drilled other years.
The referee's blown his whistle once again, penalising the Raiders from a similar position. They were penalised right before the opening try of the game. So Harris hoops this one downfield.
They need to find out what they're doing wrong around that ruck area there and cut it out. This is the second in a row.
Sam Wood just a little bit too keen that time. So the referee's pulled it back. Now he waves play on, so York straight away moving this ball over to Xavier Vart, who's brought down just inside the Raiders half. As we can see the mud creeping up the legs onto the shorts. Now eventually we're going to see some brown shirts. Great tackle around the ankles that time on the experienced Jordan Thompson, as York now quickly moving downfield. Big tackle low. made on that far edge. Quick play the ball, but Shane runs at the line as York now shifting this one. Want to crest over to this right hand side, trying to kick it over the top, trying to find some space there. Fantastically weighted kick. Raiders were forced to push that one out dead for the drop out. What a kick that was over the top.
You see what they're doing there, Dan. They're not necessarily looking if they can get a try. They get a try, don't get me wrong, but what they're doing there, they're looking to turn the Raiders round, make them chase the ball back and deal with it. So they're getting a repeat set. They're building the pressure. They're going to make Raiders have to tackle more on these muddy conditions.
Raiders gone for the short one from the dropout. It's going to go back into the hands of Luke Cresswell, and Raiders regain possession. They took the gamble there. And now the referee, the Raiders players, the fans screaming for a penalty, illegal tackle by Paul McShane, not given. The referee did wave 6 again. Raiders camped right back though. Tom Walker now takes the go to the line. It's not very often you see Tom Walker move backwards in contact, Graham.
Yeah, well, it's going to be one of them nights tonight, I think.
Raiders moving up towards their own 40-metre mark. Moving this one across the right-hand side. Another early kick in the set. Down towards the corner. It's trying to wrong foot Ben Jones-Bishop, who's done well to collect that one in these muddy conditions. As the ground, the surface here is just getting muddier and muddier, and we're not even 10 minutes in. 32 minutes to go until half-time. Raiders 0, York Knights of the Super League 4. Barrow looking for a Challenge Cup upset. Will we see the first upset of the round here this evening under the Saturday night lights as York move inside the Raiders half once more? Quick in possession, this York team. Shifting this one out once again towards the right-hand side, right up to the line, trying to create some numbers as it's Matt Arthur that moves across and is eventually tackled 20 metres out. Another quick play of the ball now then. It's going to be a grubber quick through from Harris. Can it get away from the Raiders players? It can. It's stopped. It's knocked on, I think, and then eventually it's grounded behind the sticks. But once again, Raiders are going to be forced to drop this one out.
Another early kick, Dan. Another early kick that's made the Raiders turn back and run towards their own line and have to deal with it. And again, another drop out. That tires defence.
Are they going to risk it and go for the short one? Short-ish. That time just a little bit too much on it. It's an easy take there for the York fullback, and now they're going to get this fresh set off the Raiders 20-metre mark, and this is dangerous for the Raiders now, Graham.
Yeah.
Xavier Varr then takes York to within 15 in front of the posts, out towards this left side once again. Fast hands from this York team. They've got some space on the edge. Raiders managed to shuffle across, trying to force the play into touch. Good strong and held up well there by the Knights, who move this ball back into the middle once again. Trying to set up now as the tackle is complete on the 10-metre mark. They've still got a few to go in this set. Looking once again with big numbers on that left side. A drop of the shoulder from Wood. He tries to move over. Can't find a line just yet. It's fifth at last now. Out towards the short side. A little kick over the top. Trying to catch the Raiders defenders out. Has it bounced back in play there before being grounded? If that's the case, that's a sensational try. It is. The try is given. It looked to be, from our angle, to be going dead. It's bounced back in field, or maybe it's been tapped back in field. We can't quite see from this position. Nevertheless, 10 minutes on the clock. Second try of the evening goes to York. It's now Raiders 0, York 8.
Yeah, that was the furthest point from us, and from where we were sitting, like you say, it looked like it had gone dead to me, but it must have stood up. And a York player's got to it before the Raiders' defence could.
We're trying to figure out who it was. I mean, good luck with that one. I'm going to guess either Nico Williams or Scott Galliano on that side of the field there.
It'll be one of them two. It's either the winger or the centre. It's hard to see from this sort of distance.
The announcer's coming out to ask us. It's the corner where the light bulbs need replacing, shall we say, in the floodlights. Welcome to Championship level rugby league. You don't get this at the LNER Stadium over in York, let me tell you. It's a whole different playing field and conditions, quite literally, for this York team. Very familiar with this setup here, though, at Craven Park, the Northern Competition Stadium, but this time it's just a little bit different. Of York of our full-time Super League outfit. Plenty of changes, plenty of players that have stayed on board as well, and it's nice to see Jordan Thompson playing Super League rugby once again. He took the step down a few years ago, but he's still got it as a loose forward. As now that kick from the far touchline goes wide of the post, so it's not going to be 10, sorry, it's going to remain Raiders 0, York 8.
So that is a blessing in disguise, because if the Raiders can keep competing and stay in the tie and hold them out, if they can nick a try before half time, it makes that conversation at half time very different.
Just going to see if I can message my fellow media counterparts on that far side of the ground to see who scored that try for the York Knights. But nevertheless, it remains here. York 8-0 up against the hosts this evening, Barrow Raiders, and straight away from kick-off, one pass out towards that far left-hand side, trying to get around the inside of Curtis Tier, who's managed to scramble back, complete the tackle, but they're starting this one off their own 40, and the pace of this York team, the fitness, it's just a step up, Graham, at the moment.
Well, the difference is they're full-time professionals, and these guys train every day.
Moving down this left edge now then with Sam Wood. Tackle eventually completed. Yet again another quick play of the ball. Punching up some big numbers in the middle there, where Paul Vaughan tries to get the offload away. He's brought down by two Raiders men. Going down the short side. A nice little scoop of the ball there. Out towards the left, still they go. It's now fifth and last tackle. York 20 metres away. Dinking that one over the top, testing the fullback Luke Cresswell, who's done well under pressure. He had three York attackers around him, but he's taken the ball well, albeit 5 metres or so in front of his own line, Graham.
Yeah, that's the sixth kick in a row that they've used that method, and it's providing bonuses for him as the game's going on.
So your Raiders now then still struggling to get off their own 10-metre mark. Big run that time though by the Super League experienced Joe Bullock. Quick scoop of the ball. Raiders battling up towards their own 30, but it's already fifth and last tackle. It's going to be a huge kick here from Ryan Johnston. It's going to go right down the middle, pop nicely into the hands of the fullback, and York running this one and playing this one through the hands already on that far left side. And again, find themselves just 40 metres away. I think for a lot of fans, myself included, Graham, it's still, when we see York as a decent championship side. It's just they always have been. Now we need to respect that this is a Super League outfit. They've gone up another level, and we need to remember that. Well,
they've just made their first error, and that's give a scrum feed to Barrow Raiders. The players will get a lift off that. Let's just hope they can advance and spend some time on the York line.
Yeah, Raiders not really had a chance in this opening 15 minutes to get inside that York half and show them what they are made of. Currently, the scoreline remains Raiders 0, York 8. You're listening live on BBC Radio Cumbria Sport via the app and via the website. They've gone for the kick early here, have Barrow Raiders. BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra as well, of course, as T. Ritson now. He's trying to challenge for that ball. The ball has come loose. It's come back into the hands of the Raiders winger, and just like that, Barrow find themselves 20 metres away. The crowd levels are picking up now. Fast hands from the Raiders. It falls to Tom Walker. He can't get the pass away, so he's taken the tackle. Barrow still 20 metres away. Listen to this crowd erupt as Raiders get closer and closer to that line. Ellis Robson on that 10-metre mark now as the ball gets shifted out towards Johnston. Quick hands here towards his right side. Walker's managed to get the offload away. It's fell out to Tier. Tier had far too much on that pass. Broadbent is staring him down like, what were you doing there, Curtis? He got a little bit too excited, but I think, Graham, the one pass away there for a try.
Yeah, I mean, that was a
awful
nailed-on try until that unfortunate error from Curtis Tier there. The pass just going behind.
Unfortunate. You tried to be nice there, Graham. It was a terrible pass from Curtis Tier on that far right-hand side.
But they did really well there. We said before the game that you've got to have things to try that are a little bit different. That was a kick early for your man Ritson to chase, and he certainly created that little bit of doubt.
They are thinking a little bit outside the box. They've got nothing to lose. Nobody's expecting them to come away with the victory. It's a massive shot once again. Ryan King goes flying in.
Nothing wrong with that. I didn't think there was.
I think the angle of the run has just made it appear that Ryan King has gone charging in with his shoulder. He's gone straight in to apologise. Unintentional. I think the step has just caught him off slightly there from the York attacker. He's going to be absolutely fine. Play on will continue shortly as Liam Moore speaks to his touch judge just to see if anything else was seen there. I imagine just a warning, no. As he calls over.
You can see he's going to get 10 minutes here.
Well, he wouldn't. Well, it's one of them things, isn't it, where you wouldn't be surprised if he did get 10 minutes, but he needs to understand. Yep, there it is. He called it, Graham. It's 10 minutes for Ryan King.
Well, the referee's been very fastidious, hasn't he? In the 30 metres of York's half, and he's pulled him. That's the third time now. Fair enough. You could question that was an illegal, slightly illegal in my opinion, but I don't think it warranted for 10 minutes.
Well, Graham Dale wins word of the night. 24 minutes to go until half time. Ryan King sees yellow for a high shot. Raiders trailing by 8 points to 0, but for the next 10 minutes they've got to do it with just 12 men. As York now from the halfway line, quick tap and go from Sam Wood. 10 metre burst that time. I just think, Graham, this could be 2, maybe 3 tries in the bag here for York. They've been finding the spaces easy enough when it was 13 men on the field.
I mean, like you say, the quality of the bench of this York side nowadays. You know, Sanguera that's just come on now, the French international. So
York now just inside the 30, shifting this one through the middle. Forward pass that time. Seen, it's been spotted. It was spotted slightly late, but that's a chance for the York team that goes begging. As now Raiders get possession back. Hands on hips already. Almost 20 minutes played. They're feeling it already, Graham.
Yeah, well, what we can't see from here, Dan, and understand from here is how quick this York side will be covering the ground and how quick it is to get across to save a tackle and get back up again and get back again. Before you know it, you go back the 10 and you turn round and they're running at you.
Another penalty straight away. High in the tackle against the speedster, T. Ritson.
This referee, fair credit to him. He's taking it both ways now, and he wants to have a clean ruck.
So another hoof downfield. I tell you what, a lot of these balls are coming towards our position, Graham. We need to be careful here, don't we? Costello then with a tap and go as it comes out to Joe Bullock, taking a big run out. Just past the Raiders 40 metre mark now then. Fast hands needed. Something a little bit different if they're going to find a way through this Super League defence. Moving up towards the halfway line now. 22 minutes to go until half time. Raiders 0, York 8. And that's another penalty there. And they need to calm down now. A bit of a coming together in the middle of the park from Jesse D. Jordan Thompson it was that initially made the challenge. It's getting a little bit feisty out there, Graham.
It is, you know. Just looking at that, he just caught him on the as he was going down, didn't he? I think this is good. This works.
Yeah.
This works for the Raiders because it unsettles York, you know. Some of these players, majority of the players for York, will have a Super League mentality. And it's cut and dry, a lot of it nowadays. You don't get a lot of this feistiness, you know.
I think we're going to see 10 minutes here once again, Graham. It's very similar. He's gone over. I mean, if it's for a similar offence to Ryan King,
isn't it? Yeah.
He's got to show consistency on the field. And there he is.
There he goes.
The referee, Liam Moore, he is being consistent. And it's going to be Jesse D that sees yellow. He will now spend 10 on the bench. So now it's 12 against 12. Raiders with a penalty, ball in hand on the halfway line. Brad Walker, I imagine, is going to hoof this one as far as he can downfield. And then we're going to see what the Raiders can make of this rare chance. 20 minutes to go. York 8, Raiders 0, should I say?
Yeah.
Don't get too excited.
Thinking, Dan.
But it's Raiders with a chance now. Still waiting for confirmation on that second York Knights try scorer. I will get that for you shortly. The joy of social media once I can jump on. Raiders now then. With a big strong run there from the bulldozer Bullock as Ryan Johnston pops that one off to Ellis Robson. Robson is still driving forward, eventually stopped around the 10-metre mark as Josh Wood looks around. He goes towards his right hand side then. Ryan Johnston now, fast hands once again. York shifting across. Can they stop this Raiders burst? As Raiders on the 10, out towards this left side, back in the middle to Joe Bullock. Joe Bullock's trying to find a way through. He can't find a way past the French international. The ball has come loose. And the referee has indicated it was ripped out. So the Raiders now then.
A repeat set.
Are they going to go for the 2, do you think, Graham?
I wouldn't.
No.
I'd keep the momentum going.
So they're going
I was just going to say it's important they get something out of this set, and they just have. So now they've got to go again, and they've got to get something out of it again.
Raiders.
If it gets to the last tackle, sorry Dan, they need to get something, a return, a repeat set or a try.
Within 5 metres now then, out towards this left-hand side once more. They've got some good shape, they've got some good numbers. Can they get the ball out to Ritson? No, Cresswell was desperate to get that ball over the top. The Raiders winger was waiting, but the tackle is being completed. The ball comes back out to Ellis Robson, who cuts back in towards that left-hand corner. Still just a few metres away from the try line now then as Barrow move this one with Ryan Johnston towards the sticks. The ball's bobbling, it's sliding, and it's been collected by a black and yellow shirt, and it's going to be York Knights back in possession. But for a few moments there, the excitement levels picked up, Graham.
Yeah, that was good. That was some good time spent on York's 10-metre line. So the Raiders now really need to put them under pressure defensively.
Nikai Williams confirmed as the York Knights' second try scorer. We called it, Graham, we just weren't too sure which one it was. Galliano or Williams. But yeah, so it's Matt Arthur, the full-back, 5 minutes, and 5 minutes later, Nikai Williams. I'm looking forward to watching that one back, seeing if it was batted back in play or was it like a backspin on the ball, as now it's a kick early in the set, deep downfield over the head of Luke Cresswell. The ball is eventually going to stop on these 10-metre mark, but it's Cresswell against the wall of York defenders, is eventually stopped on the 20-metre mark. As Raiders now, just like that though, Graham, you see they give York possession back just a few metres in front of their own line.
Yeah.
And they end the set on the Raiders 10.
Yeah, the first 2 plays of a set for York are so quick. They're making 10-15 metres each play.
So Barrow now shifting towards that right side. York leading by 8 points to 0. There's Barrow trying to set up something a little bit different here. Fast hands all the way down to Ryan Johnson, who's hoofed it downfield. It's going to be a quick kick chase. The ball is bobbling. Not too sure who's picking it up. It's eventually gone to Ben Jones-Bishop, and Ryan Johnston with a kick chase completes the tackle. And that was well played there, wasn't it, Graham?
Yeah, that's lifted the team, that, and this crowd. Captain doing his bit there for the team.
17 minutes to go until half time. Raiders 0, York 8. Will we see that Super League Cup upset? Barrow may give themselves a chance if they just keep the main thing. That's all they've got to do. Good tackle there on that kick chase downfield. But Barrow once again, Graham.
Another great kick. Just a little dink over the top, just to put it on the try line. They know exactly what they're doing. They're playing this, and if they score in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tackles time, that's where they'll have started to build that pressure for that try. Putting the Raiders back under pressure on their own line.
16 minutes to go until half time. Then Raiders almost breaking down on that right hand side. You are listening live on BBC Radio Cumbria Sport via the app and via the webpage and BBC Radio 5 Live. Sports Extra, of course, joining us this evening for this fascinating Challenge Cup Round 3 contest between the Super League new boys, York Knights, travelling here this evening to Barrow and leading this game by 8 points to 0. 16 minutes to go until half time. Both teams currently down to 12 men. In the bin is Ryan King, who will be due to come back on shortly, and Jesse D. And it's gone a little bit flat, I think, since the two guys have gone off.
I think the Raiders could just do with trying to just slow the York, play the ball down a little bit.
So York now then, moving right through the middle. Pop that one off to the loose forward, Jordan Thompson. There was a bit of a shoulder charge in there from Greg Richards, right in front of Liam Moore. Bit unnecessary there from the new Raiders signing this season. And I've got a feeling, York might take out the kicking corner here.
You think?
I think it's being... No, the referee is just... No, I thought they were going to run on then. The water carrier was coming on. Just with some water, without a cone. But no, York is going to go for the kill with Justin Sangare. With his fresh set following on from that penalty. 10 metres out now, looking for their third try of the evening. Thompson picks up the pace, flies towards the right-hand side of the post. He's stopped just a few metres short. Quick play the ball out towards the left side of the post. Once again, tackle complete. 14 minutes to go until half-time. York looking for their third try of the evening. They've got a 4-on-3 attempts on that far left side. It's been tackled. It's been intercepted. Raiders back in possession with Curtis Tier.
Curtis Tier there took man and ball and took the ball off him. Great work.
Tell you what, Graham. I mean, they've been under the pump, the Raiders.
They have.
They really have.
But they're still in the game.
That's exactly that.
10 minutes to go to half time, quarter of an hour. See where they are after 20, and they're still in this game. If they can somehow nick a try, how many times have we said that?
Barrow Raiders
They've
now.
Pulled off a few wins in the last couple of years, haven't they?
We've seen some shock results in this Raiders team. Will we see another one? And once again, York penalised. Raiders need to take a big advantage once again, no, Graham.
Yeah, they are only human this side, York, and they've evened the penalty count up now, Dan. Again, the Raiders, they need to get something from every set when they're advanced down the field like this, and they're in good ball. They need to get something from every set.
Quick hands now then from this Raiders team. They're taking risks in their attack tonight. It's not the sort of rugby you'd see them generally play under these conditions, but they've got to take risks against teams like this. And York with Curtis Tier. Curtis Tier's almost found a way through there. He just got caught with the ankle tap on that 30-metre mark. Quick play the ball. Bishop, who's onto the field. Ryan King, who's back on now. Raiders do have that man advantage, and they now find themselves 10 metres out from the line. The noise levels pick up here. Raiders out towards this left-hand side with Robson. Robson can't find the pass away, so the tackle will be made just a few metres out. Raiders back towards the sticks with Ryan Johnston. Long ball out towards this right-hand side. A little trying to tip off the ball there, but it's been spilled. And then the referee, he indicated a knock-on. Is he going to go for the first or the second knock-on? You'd imagine he'll go back to the Raiders knock-on. Raiders trying to plead their case, though. It's going to be a scrum down, head and feed to the Raiders. He very nonchalantly walked up to his mark there, didn't he, Mr. Moore?
Yeah.
He kept the crowd in suspense. So Raiders now then.
This is good. This is good news for the Raiders.
York still down to 12, of course. Jesse D still got a few more minutes on the bench. And now the ball comes out the scrum to Johnston. Out the back to Cresswell. Cresswell finds Ritson. Ritson is smothered in the tackle. Smothered a little bit too high in the tackle, it seems. And once again, the referee has awarded the penalty for a high tackle on the Raiders winger. So it's going to be another set off that 10-metre mark.
I just think they could maybe just try something a little bit different here when they get out on the edge, Dan, because they're going with that shape, and York have kind of got it covered. Just drop a little ball short. Somebody hit a little short line.
So Raiders now then on that 10-metre mark, looking for the quick play of the ball here. Ryan Johnston gets this one out towards the right side. still in a great position. Back towards the middle. Raiders trying to die a little towards the right-hand side of the post there. Teeth almost fell out as Raiders got closer and closer. Still trying to edge their way through. Have they got the ball down? The referee has said no. Oh, the Raiders players were screaming in delight.
That's good though, but that gives them hope. That gives them fresh, renewed hope that, you know, they can get over this line. Something to play for.
So Barrow now within 10 once again. Pop that one off to Ellis Robson on the last tackle. 10 minutes to go. Last chance here for the Raiders to get something from this set. Walker dinks that one towards the right-hand side. It was almost taken. It's gone flying through.
Great work.
Has that been batted off a York hand? It has. So the Raiders are forced to drop out here.
They got something from the set. That's what they needed to do, Dan. And they did it.
It may not be the biggest of attendances here this evening, but it's just as equally as loud as them Salford fans were last week, as these Raiders fans that are in attendance are desperate for their hometown heroes to get some points on the board against Super League opposition. As Charlie Emsley now then flies down the middle, taking Barrow up towards the 30-metre mark inside the York half. Raiders 0, York 8, 10 to go until half-time. Just trying to see if Jesse D has come back on the field. I think it's 13 against 13 once again as King pops that one off to Johnston, to Robson. Johnston's been taken out after the pass. A late call once again from Liam Moore. And I tell you what, Graham, it's been quite consistent in these penalties, and you wonder if
it's
something
welling
will
up,
come from
isn't it? You know, I think he's in control.
So he's stopped the clock. He's going to go speak to his official. It's a thumbs up for Ryan Johnston from the doctor. So he's okay to stay on the field. But will we see another man in the bin? And I think we might, you know, Graham. He's calling him over. He's calling the... He's going to speak to the captain, I think, isn't he? But it's getting feisty.
Well, it's an arm wrestle now. It has been for the last quarter of an hour, Dan, hasn't it?
So there's a bit of a conversation still going on the field here from the referee, Liam Moore, with the Liam Harris of the York Knights. So it's going to be yet another penalty awarded.
So another set of 6.
So Bishop then, tap and go. Raiders underway once again with Greg Richards. Charges down towards that 10-metre mark.
Just a little bit of composure needed now, Dan.
As the Raiders now then trying to find a way through to get the offload away, and now it's another scrap. Someone's going to go off here, Graham. It's all going on.
I think somebody's took a Raider off the ball there on suspicion of him catching the ball.
So we got another stoppage. And things like you can kind of see it coming. The officials are surrounding this huddle. It's 26 men around the post.
I mean, normally, I said it before, when there's a kick-off like this, it's going to work in Barrow's favour because it's going to unruffle York. But Barrow have got momentum at the moment. They need to be getting on with the game. So I can only see this being another Raiders penalty.
So we've got 8 minutes on the clock. The referee has stopped the time. It's Raiders 0, it's York 8. There's a 23-man brawl that's finally come to a halt.
Somebody's been took out on suspicion there, I reckon.
And I've got a feeling something's going to happen here. After just warning Liam Harris to cool it down, the Raiders naturally, they are going to ruffle a few feathers in this game. And now he's pointing, someone's going off. Is it a red? Is it a yellow? I think it's going to be a red. It's a straight red. And he's pointing at a Raiders man. Raiders look bewildered. Is it Bishop? They're still arguing with the referee here. The Raiders players cannot believe what has just happened. Is it Richards is going off?
Is that an injury or has he been sent off?
So Greg Richards is leaving the field with the physio alongside him.
Yeah.
It appears that he's also been, and there's going to be another. Is that a yellow?
Now that's McShane, is it?
That's McShane who's now going off, who's sprinting off the field, and he's trying to get as close as he can to Greg Richards. So they're trying to force him off. The fourth official has just stopped McShane from getting behind Richards. So Richards sees red. McShane sees yellow. Now the referee is once again talking to the captains. It's a feisty one indeed here. 8 minutes to go until half time. Raiders are going to, if they're going to get anything from this one, they're going to do it the hard way. We've had 3 sin bins and a red card inside the opening 32 minutes of this fixture. Not traditionally a dirty fixture between these two, but it's the Championship against Super League.
Well, it's an arm wrestle, isn't it? And the more you get into it, like you say, on a night like this, and these are Super League, you know, there'll be a bit of sledging going on. They've done nothing in Super League yet, have they? They haven't even had a game. So they'll be letting each other know that.
So that will be a game changer, indeed. It will massively benefit this York team. Both teams currently playing 12 against 12. But Greg Richards will not come back onto the field. He sees red. 8 minutes to go until half time. Raiders 0, York 8. And do you know what?
That's intent, that.
You can speak to the captains. They are not letting up. Costello grabbing the shirt on the way back there from Sam Wood. The tackles are going in twice as hard as they were just a few moments ago. Incredible scenes here at Craven Park as the York Knights team now go flying down this right-hand side. 3 men in the tackle every time. Once again, a drop of the shoulder. It's going to be Balmorth then. It's taking over the McShane positions as York now out towards this left side. Trying to find some space in that left-hand corner. Dropped on the 20-metre mark. 5th and last tackle now then. What will York make of this one? A little kick over the top there from Hingano. It's going to be chased. It's going to be caught. And the referee's going to pull it back. Do you have an information update for us, Graham?
I've just been told that there are 2 red cards down.
2 reds?
So Paul McShane has got a red card as well.
All right, okay. That's my bad eyesight.
So that's their game player. That is it's a blow to Barrow to lose Richards, but it's also an equal blow to York to lose their main player.
McShane going off.
Now this is good.
Is a big game turner.
I know for those that are not here watching this, the Raiders have just upped it by another 20%, that line speed, and throwing the bodies into tackles. So the Raiders, if they just pick a try before half time, there's a whole different ball game on this game.
Raiders 0, York 8, both men down to 12. I do apologise. It was a red card for Richards and a red card for McShane. Raiders now then getting this one out to T. Ritson. This York team are prepared for the Raiders speedster though. 3 in the tackle every time on him. But I mean, it's going to open up some space, isn't it, Graham?
It is, a little bit more space.
So Raiders now then out towards the right-hand side. Still got a few tackles to go. Going down the short side. Kick over the top. Back in towards the middle. Ryan Johnston is there and he can't quite get the ball. Oh, the ball has come right. Here it is. First try of the evening for the Raiders against Super League opposition. Right underneath the sticks. It's going to go with 5 minutes on the clock. This game's going to be within 2 points, Graham.
I thought they'd missed the chance. I thought Ryan Johnson. I thought, why couldn't he just pluck that out of the air and score? But he had a player backing him up, and that player was. I can see who it was, but I can't see his number. I think it was. Well, it wasn't Ryan Johnson.
So the announcer says, "We'll let you know." As soon as
I'm not sure if it's Brad Walker.
We'll wait for the updates. Nevertheless, Graham, incredible stuff, incredible scenes. It's a loud noise. 5 minutes to go until half time. 2 red cards, changing this game, the dynamic of this game completely now. Raiders about to go on to 6 points. York on 8. It's game on, Graham.
Paul Crary will be so proud of his players at this moment in time. I know there's a second half to come, but the way they've held in there and not let York get away from them, and then they've took control of the things they can. And they've said about having to put York on the back foot, put them under pressure. That's what they've done. They've kept them under pressure. They've yielded to that pressure. They've lost the plot. They've lost the player, and now it's all systems go. And then they're going to get 5 minutes or so. They're going to get a rest, come out and do it all again.
Do you know who the try scorer was? You'll know because he's safe as a Swedish seatbelt, Graham.
Oh, it'll be Luke Cresswell then.
Luke Cresswell going over for his 5th of the season, the Raiders fullback, in that scuffle that was going on in between the sticks. It was a Raiders fullback that pops up with the ball, and it makes it a 2-point game. It's Raiders 6, it's York 8, with 3 minutes to go until half time. We've seen 3 yellow cards, we've seen 2 red cards. It's been incredible.
I know.
Raiders now then on the attack, looking to cause the first, maybe the only, maybe the biggest upset of the Challenge Cup for 2026. You don't see many Super League sides fall to any sort of championship or lower opposition. It's rare. It has been done.
It has. But at this moment in time, Dan, that's where we're looking. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at David and Goliath is on the back foot.
It is at the moment. I mean, if you're going to get a guy sent off, you don't want it to be Paul McShane if you're a York team. You know, he's a big player.
Yeah, like you say, there's a lot of work to do yet for these Raiders, but if they just look at the first 40, and I'm sure that's what Paul Crester will be saying to them, you know, like, look where we've done. We didn't let them get away. We didn't let them get out of sight. We held in there. We played our sets. We did what we could, and we got back into it.
So York now moving down this right side with the earlier try scorer, Matt Arthur. 20 metres out from that Raiders line. 2 minutes to go until half time. Can the Raiders hold out this York attack? Can they go in, trailing the game by just the 2 points? It's a late offload away, out towards the sticks, over the line, and it's a quick reply from this York team, and it comes from Jack Martin. It's now York 12, Raiders 6. It's going to be a simple conversion attempt, and that's a way to kill the atmosphere, Graham, right before the half-time.
It is what it is. But I'll tell you what, at the start of the game, they'd have took that scoreline for half-time.
The Jack Martin then, with just a minute to go until half-time, stabs a knife through the atmosphere. Yeah,
that's made people go quiet.
Oh, did it just? You couldn't hear yourselves think a few moments ago, but now, yeah, York have just flicked the switch, got downfield, interchange. Jack Martin comes onto the field, gets under the posts. 12 against 12. There's a long way to go in this match, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more lines to write of this story just yet. It's going to be a simple conversion then. It's going to go right through the middle, making the scoreline now York 14, Raiders 6. And I wonder, Graham, you know, with a minute to go until half-time, do you think they'll go for the short kick-off here? Do you think they'll try and get possession back and give it a go?
Well, common sense would tell me to kick it long and just see the half out.
And I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
So there it is then. If you heard it, the half-time hooter. Liam Moore collects the ball. The players trudge off at half-time. Raiders with their collars up because the scoreline reads Barrow 6, York 14. But it's Barrow that pretty much took control for probably the second half of that half, Graham.
Well, it was the first half of two halves, you know, and in many ways York were keeping their heads in front for the first 20-25 minutes. The Raiders started to get back into it themselves. Then they were awarded a couple, 2 or 3 penalties on a bounce, and they managed to get a foothold back into the game. And then they started to ruffle the feathers. We had sin bins both sides, and we had sending offs, and the Raiders benefited from that in terms of field position, and they managed to get themselves over the line, which got them back into the game. And even though they've just scored, they're still back in the game. 14-6, they would have took that at the start. I'm sure Paul Crary's well made up with the first half effort for the Raiders.
Yeah, definitely. Raiders 6, York 14. We are hoping, if it's possible, to get the Barrow Raiders chairman and CEO live with us here during this half-time interval. We're listening. Big thank you for everybody listening as well, by the way, on BBC Radio Cumbria Sport, via the app, via the website, and of course on BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra this evening. You've joined us for an absolutely fascinating game of rugby league, which Graham has just been saying there. A game of two halves indeed. And I think you were saying before kick-off, Graham, you expected it to be fast from the start, and York certainly came at him in that opening 20 minutes, but eventually I think the Raiders just changed it tactically, ruffled a few feathers, and I think it's working for them. They
managed to weather the storm, and although York scored 2 early tries, they didn't let them put the foot on the throat and see the game out and kill the game effectively. They kept trying, they worked hard in defence, and then they managed to get, like you say, they got in the faces, they ruffled the feathers, they got them a bit unsettled. They had a sin binning of their own, then a sending off of their own, and that's what the Raiders built on. And like you say, Ryan Johnson's had a very good first half. He's got them round this field. He's kicked intelligently. He put another kick over, and although he wasn't there to take it and gather it, Luke Cresswell was, and put 6 points on the board for Barrow.
So we'll take a look at some of the other Betfred Challenge Cup third round results of the weekend so far. Yesterday, of course, Hunslet 6, Huddersfield 52, Sheffield 6, Warrington 34. Another spirited performance there from a championship side. And I want to touch on that as well slightly, Graham. Warrington beating Sheffield by 34 points to 6. Not a bloodbath like a lot of people may have thought it was. And is that show some intentions of how Sheffield are going to get on this year, do you think? Well,
it does, and like you say, it's only early in the season, and a lot of, like you said, the Super League clubs, they haven't had that many games. No games because Super League's not started yet, but it is a chance for the championship teams to give it a go. That's probably an easy way of describing it. Go and give it the best shot they can against the elite Super League teams of this country.
And Workington last night, Workington 2, St Helens 98. But there's a much more to that game. It's the rugby league story than it was that result. The gate and the amount of money produced from that fixture is enough to cover their players' salary for over 2 months' time. It's an incredible thing, that.
Yeah, I've watched some footage, especially after the game, and the amount of kids. We were there when Cumbria hosted Jamaica, and them players, that they won't see on that pitch every 10-15 years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the kids and the time, Jackson Hastings taking the time to have his photograph taken, and he give his skull cap to a youngster who was made up, you know what I mean? So it's great for like north of Cumbria, north of Barrow anyway, to experience it and have a great night. I know it was a bad score for rugby wise, but sometimes the event outweighs the result.
Salford 0, Hull FC 60, and a record-breaking result. But again, it was more than just a result for Loch Lane, Graham. Loch Lane at home to Hull KR. What an event, what a moment for them fans and them youngsters down there. The fixture finished 104 points to 0, but there'll be pictures in that Loch Lane clubhouse for years to come out there.
I mean, imagine if you were in that game, you played. I was there the day we played Hull KR.
Yeah.
And not just any Hull KR that were mid to bottom of the table. Hull KR, Super League, and top draw team. So like you say, again, the event rules over the result.
And we are joined now by Raiders Chairman CEO Mr. Steve Neal. And Steve, I mean, so far we're going to start with the game. It's hard not to talk about it. Some people were expecting a bloodbath. Some people might have been expecting a bit of a cup killing, if you will. How do you make of it so far?
Well, it's a bit of a shame that we conceded that try just before half time, but we're still in it. I think there's an opportunity for an upset. I don't know really. It's a typical cup tie, isn't it? It's muddy, it's dirty. We're getting stuck in. We've had a couple of yellow cards, a couple of red cards. Were they red?
Yeah, we thought them at Sherman was a yellow. Then we were told by the box there that it was a red. So
yeah, well, I wasn't sure myself. From with the light, you're not quite sure what colour the card were, but they definitely both went to the dressing room.
In terms of the fixture itself, for you and for finances, for business, is this a big thing for the club, almost like it was for Workington yesterday?
Well, unfortunately, we were probably hoping ourselves for the likes of St Helens and Wigan and Leeds or Hull KR or something like that with a big travelling support. But it's not just the travelling support. Those clubs have got, they bring out the Barrow fans as well, if you know what I mean. Whereas York, we've played them over the last 3, 4, 5 years in the Championship, so it's not anything different. York have got that big game on Thursday against Wilkinson Rovers, and it's heading for a sellout of around 8,000. And I think their fans are all up for that, and I don't think they've travelled in great numbers. So I'm not saying I'm let down or anything, because I still think it's a cup tie that we can win, and we'll get Wigan or St Helens or Leeds or Wilkinson Rovers in the next round.
I mean, the result of this game, Steve, will carry forward into next week's fans that come and watch, that come to the home games. It might give them an injection, another 500 on the gate because of tonight's performance, hopefully.
Yeah, well, obviously, I've been around the game long enough to know that York could run away with it in the second half, and we could be staring at 36-6 or something like that. So, let's not count our chickens, but it's been a competitive first half. I think York have been a little bit slicker than us, but we've dug in, been rewarded with a try, similar to their second try really, which was a kick and ricocheted, and everyone didn't really know what was happening, and all of a sudden the referee's given a try. So yeah, so we're still in it. I think we've probably got to score next, even if it's a penalty, just to get that distance to 6 points, and then we'll score a try and a goal and kick a drop goal. So that's what we're looking for.
And in terms of you, behind the scenes a little bit for the fans that are tuning in, we've seen rugby league over the last few years, the likes of Salford, now Oldham, Featherstone, they've gone into the wilderness a little bit. It's your job to make sure the club here doesn't do that. How are preparations going moving forward for the Barrow Raiders team?
It's a tough job. You've got to match ambition with sustainability, and find the balance, because you could go too far the other way and be sustainable, but you haven't got a team on the field and you haven't got any supporters. So sometimes you've got to gamble a little bit that you're going to be a playoff contending team, so that the fans still buy into it. And I think that's what we've tried to do. As with every club, probably each chairman is run by a fan. So at times I probably think I've spent a little bit too much on the team, but the coach will tell me otherwise. The coach will say that I haven't spent enough on the team, and that's the battle that we have with each other. But I think we've got the balance pretty much okay. We've got a team that's going to be for sure challenging, I would say, the top 6 of the Championship, and that's where we want to be. But by the same token, we're not stretching ourselves too much that we're going to become a Salford or a Featherstone. Yeah,
well, Steve, big thank you for your time. I know you're a very busy man this evening. We've got the official attendance in Avaley as well, just under 1,400 this evening. Was there many York fans that bought any tickets today?
Well, with it not being a league game, we don't differentiate between the York and the Barrow fans, but obviously you can see the postcodes and whatever when they're coming in. There wasn't a great deal of York. I would suggest less than 100, and obviously season ticket holders have to pay for cup ties, and that's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. But as I say, we'll get Wigan next round after this comeback in the second half.
Sounds good. Big thank you for your time, Steve. That's Steve Neal there, the Barrow Raiders chairman and CEO, of course. Always great, isn't it, Graham?
Yeah.
To speak
I'll tell you what,
Steve.
like you say, he's the chairman and everything else, but above all, he's a rugby fan, and he's a rugby fan of the Raiders. And I speak to a lot of fans and a lot of people who who either listen to Barrow Raiders all the time or come watch Barrow Raiders all the time. And nearly every week, I work with some of them, and nearly every week we have a debate on whether the Raiders have got a good squad this year. And this is the first time for 2 or 3 years I've heard people saying that they look like they've got a good squad this year, they've got a good pack, got a good strong pack, and that's true. So we've got to see what they're going to do at their own level. But like you say, they've got 40 minutes. And I think Steve's right there, we need to score first.
Will the Raiders get on the score sheet early on? It's 12 against 12. The pitch is a little bit more opened up. The key pivotal player in that York team, Paul McShane, seeing red just 8 minutes before half-time alongside Greg Richards, another big forward for this Raiders team. It just means that there's going to be fewer interchanges now, and he's just going to cause his
the thing is, I think Paul, he'll have took 2 things at half-time if he'd have offered him. One was the score, and one would be the situation with the players on and off the field. He'd say McShane to be off for 50 minutes of this game. He's their leader, he's their main ball player, you know what I mean? And it's going to be harder for York, I think, than it is going to be for the Raiders. They've got plenty of, don't get me wrong, they've got plenty of players that can step in, but it just upsets the rhythm.
And we were talking about them fixtures as well, with just a couple more that we missed off there before we were joined by the Raiders chairman. Doncaster 0, Castleford 14, Widnes 12, Leeds 25. They were played earlier on today, and currently here at half time it reads Raiders 6, York Knights 14, Crusaders and Lee. They'll be the kicking off very, very shortly. But back to this game right here, right now, it's York Knights about to get us underway. Raiders will be playing downfield from left to right as we look at it. A deep kick testing the touchline there, taken well by Walker. And straight away Luke Cresswell, Ryan King it was, screaming out for the penalty against Hingano. Not given. Play continues then. Listening live here on BBC Radio Cumbria Sport via the Rugby League page on the BBC app, and of course BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. Big thank you for taking this coverage this evening as Raiders looking to cause that first Challenge Cup upset, as T. Ritson now dragged down by the back of his shirt as he was trying to run sideways across the field. The speedster's desperately looking to get some sort of gap in that defence, isn't he, Graham?
Yeah, definitely there, yeah, he was looking, he had a little bit of space, but again closed down so quickly by this York defence.
Another early kick from Walker down the middle, though it's bobbling. It was just being held up by the muddy patches, and York have made a good 20-metre burst from collecting that ball, and not the greatest of kicks that time from Walker. His kicking's been quite decent tonight.
Yeah,
that wasn't one of his better options, and now York find themselves quickly on the halfway line.
I just think they need to get that physicality and that speed in the line, getting up, and it's easier said than done, and just control the ruck a little bit. They're just getting the quick play of the ball.
York now then moving out towards the left side.
That's a knock on.
Spotted by the man in the middle. Raiders get possession back. These are the sort of errors they need to cause in this York team. They need absolutely everything to go in their favour if they're going to get a sniff of beating Super League opposition. I mean, in the past you've seen these sort of games where it's been the Championship team that's on like a £1 million ridiculous budget and stuff. This is far from it, Graham.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, again, looking at York's team now, Paul McShane is worth 12 points, 14 points.
Yeah.
By the way he plays, he creates so much. And that's a big factor. If the Raiders can keep this at 0-0 until 20 minutes to go, who knows? Moving down the middle now then, Raiders driving up towards the halfway. Quick play the ball out to Ryan King, fast hands. Just taken, was it? No, I think he's just spilled it as he's hit the floor there as Charlie Emsley. He was about half a second too late there from Ryan King with that tip on. Charlie Emsley's just struggled with the ball. Yeah, he'll be frustrated there. That's good play though. That's what we were saying in the first half, Dan. Just little tip-ons so they can't. So when the York defence hits you and holds you, you haven't got the ball. So next time they'll stand off you half a yard, and it just gives you that little bit of extra time and space. So Raiders 6, York 14.
And it's York back in possession, moving inside the Raiders half, trying to break through that tackle, eventually completed. But again, 20 metres or so gained from that scrum. As York now moving downfield with Oliver Field. He takes York within 30, looking for a quick play the ball now. Referee has waved 6 again, laying on just a little bit too long that time. As moving towards this left-hand corner now, around just off the 10-metre mark as York towards this right-hand side. It's going to be Hingano who's brought down on the 10. Another quick play the ball as York trying to change direction back towards the posts. Raiders scramble in defence, doing just enough so far. It's a ball out towards this wide right-hand side. As York looking to edge themselves over in the corner, can't quite find a way just yet. Play the ball again out to Harris. Harris kicks that ball through, superbly taken by the fullback Luke Cresswell. But he's going to ground that ball in goal. Another dropout. Good defensive effort so from the Raiders, Graham.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, met that ball really well, made it safe. But again, good tactics by York. Straight away, they've got another set, and they'll be straight onto the Raiders' 30 metres.
So York now then, from that dropout, Raiders decide not to go for the short one that time, trying to put a little bit of distance on it. It went as far as the 40-metre mark, but just like that, York find themselves now within 20. As Barrow moving out towards this right-hand side, York towards that right-hand corner, trying to stretch over, trying to find the line. The referee takes a good look. They must be just a few inches short. As now, once again, play continues. The ball has been spilled. The chance goes begging. Raiders are going to get possession back.
Yep. Play on, play on.
Play continues then.
Well played, Alex Bishop. Everybody had stopped and assumed a scrum, and he played on. Got a few extra yards.
His old teammates assumed he was going to be at scrum as well.
I think the ones that he ran past were all thinking, thank God that he dropped it.
So Raiders now then. What can they make of this possession? They are deep downfield. They need to think of something a little bit off the cuff if they're going to get any metres down there. Because York are just pushing them back now. The strength, the power, the fitness of this Super League outfit. As Ryan Johnson's up in his face, he needs to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, he just needs to tone, make sure he can't afford to lose him.
Both teams already down to 12 red cards in the first half. For Greg Richards for Barrow and Paul McShane for York. It's going to be a kick on the 4th from Brad Walker. That's a much better kick down towards that right-hand corner. He's found a little bit of green surface as the ball bobbles around and collected. And it's going to be Matt Arthur who's taken him on himself. He's dropped on the 20. Oh, and that's another silly error once again. That time Curtis T is being punished.
Do you know what that is, Dan? That's the fullback there, Matafa. He was absolutely wriggling proper. You know, the speed that they're trying to get up to play the ball, and it's just making it look more obvious to the referee. If you just delay it by a second or two, you know, they could have been up and played the ball. So that's what they're looking at.
So Curtis T penalised for laying on too long. He's still not happy with the decision. I think he's still trying to argue with the touch judge. And now it's a shove to the face of Walker. The foreheads have come in together. The referee is telling him to play on Walker. He's still getting involved now. Broadbent's coming there, and here we go, right in front of our position here.
They don't need this, the Raiders, I tell you.
The officials had a great look at that. It was Brad Walker initially that wasn't too happy what was going on. It was a clash of heads, if you will. But then it was Broadbent that hasn't done himself any favours. He's come flying in. And again, it was one of them head-to-heads, locking of the eyes. Not in a quite romantic way, though, Graham, this time. Referee has stopped the clock. 7 minutes played of this second half. No points scored as of yet in this second period. Raiders 6, York 14. The officials having a strong word with each other.
This is going to be a penalty to York.
You think?
And I think Walker's going to go for 10.
So he's calling over the captains for the third time tonight. 47 minutes played, and this is the third time he's had to speak to the captains about calming this one down. To be fair, he's warned them and he's sent 2 guys off. He's put 2 in the bin.
Unless he's just saying, look, we don't need to lose any more players. Have a word with your players, otherwise I'm going to have to do something next time. Which is common sense refereeing.
It looks like he's going to award the penalty for a high
I must admit, I know there's a lot of boos around me here, but we're stood right above that. I could see what went on there. And like you say, the York player took exception to being in the hold that he was in, let's say. Pushed off and then
Raiders
I'm
6.
afraid Walker was the aggressor, so he was lucky not to have walked.
York 14, 32 minutes left to go until full time. 8 points the difference. You're listening live on BBC Radio Cumbria Sport, and as well as BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra this evening, as Barrow looking for some Challenge Cup exit. York now towards this right hand side, trying to find some space. Dropped on the 10. Will this be the game that kills any sort of Raiders momentum? If they get the ball over the line here, moving out towards the right side now. The ball has come loose. The ball has gone dead. York made the error. Barrow can breathe again, Graham.
Yes, definitely. Like I say, a sigh of relief there. Again, I mean, it is ruffling the feathers. You know, York, they've lost that composure that they looked like they had in the first half. And like you said, I mean, there would have been 2 occasions now on another day or night. They could have gone in for a couple of tries, but that hasn't happened.
Raiders 6, York 14 then. 31 minutes to go until full time in this Challenge Cup third round. Scrum down on the 10-metre mark for the Raiders. Out towards this right-hand side. Still got plenty of options. Back in towards the middle to Bullock. Bullock shrugs off the first one. Eventually wrapped up by 3 York defenders. Quick play the ball to Bishop. As Raiders looking to shift the play down this edge here. With T. Ritson in possession. Out towards Curtis Tier. Curtis Tier up towards the 30-metre mark. Still fast hands here. Raiders building up some shape on that left-hand side now. Can they find a way through? A big step there, trying to cut back on the inside. Stopped just off the halfway mark. 5th and last tackle now. Raiders find Ryan Johnson, who's going to punt that one towards the corner, looking for touch. It's wiggling, it can't quite find the touch line. It stays in play. York are going to be tackled on their own 20. Big hits coming in there to complete the tackle as York go again. Yeah,
I mean, I'm just looking across the York and looking at York's setup now, and I mean, the factor that they're missing is Paul McShane, the captain. You know, they've lost the composure around the play of the ball. McShane, he floats in, he floats out, he picks the ball up, he scoops it up, he runs directly at the defence, he offloads, you know, and they've just lost that little bit of direction in the play at the moment. So, like you said, Balmford that's come on, who's now playing dummy half, he'll just more service the rest of the team, the other 2 halfbacks. So it has evened the game up a lot.
The temperatures dropping here on a Saturday night, but the atmosphere still hasn't gone anywhere, has it, Graham? Raiders
I'd say
6.
the temperature's rising.
York 14, less than half an hour to go. York on the last tackle inside the Raiders half. 30 out from the line, going down towards the right-hand side, opting to pass rather than look for the kick. They're trying to find a way through. Can they get the ball out wide? Trying to stretch towards that line now. They're just going to end up short. Took their opportunity there. Almost paid off for him, Graham.
He's a lump of a player, that Sam Wood, isn't he? He's massive.
Yeah, there's some big size in this York team. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on.
I'll tell you what will be interesting, Dan. The last 20, because I suspect Bullock will be back on, and so will Vaughan.
So Raiders now in possession once more. Trailing this game by 8 points, and it almost found a way through there. was T. Ritson, who's been desperate. He's been desperate to get hold of this ball and try and make something of it. 12 against 12. There is going to be a few more spaces. Quick play the ball here as Bishop now dictating the play over towards this right-hand side with Curtis Tier. Cuts back inside. Tackled on the halfway. Broadbent. Quick ball out to Stack. Stack back on the inside to Broadbent as he was slipping. Not too many metres gained that time from the youngster. Is now on the last tackle. Luke Broadbent looking to quickly get up and play the ball. He comes out towards Brad Walker, who's absolutely hoofed this one high in the sky. Testing the fullback, and the fullback has almost dropped it.
Took it on the second attempt.
Oh dear.
He actually did well there, Dan. You got to give credit where credit's due there.
He dropped it and then regathered it on the slip. That was talent. That was a talent to do that, Graham. Play continues then. Running into a brick wall. And that brick wall comes in the form.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Of the M6, the two hard shoulders. But that time, the referee didn't like it.
He's got that wrong.
He was low. Yeah. It was perfectly legal, if you ask me. The referee has seen something different.
I would say at this moment in time, Dan, they look like two championship sides, don't they?
Oof.
I know that might upset a few York fans. It's not like we haven't done it before, but what I'm saying by that is they've just lost that little bit of direction in the play.
I think Barrow have done their utmost to try and bring them down to their kind of level. They've done that.
They're competing with them.
Yeah, they've done that with aggression.
Yeah.
For sure, but York can turn it on at any moment. It won't be this time as the ball has been spilled. It's still bobbling backwards. The referee's going to bring it back, I imagine, for a knock on. Yep. But the pitch, it's getting more and more ripped up. We said it was going to be a leveler. And
well, to be fair, I think it's sticky more than slippy.
Well, it has been raining slightly again as well.
The wind has done its best to dry it out.
Well, the crowd enjoyed that one nevertheless. The noise reflected it.
Is that Alex Bishop gone off for a rest, is it?
Yeah, Josh Wood is back onto the field now. That's who was just earlier penalised there. Graham as a Barrow now out the scrum. Ritson once again trying to get involved, trying to find a way through. He's desperate. He's desperate to find that gap. Will it come? Massive tackle that time. And the offload comes away to Wood. Wood runs at the York markers. And he's dropped just shy of the halfway. Momentum is definitely building up for the Raiders team now as Ryan King moves inside the York half. Raiders 6, York 14. Listening live on BBC Radio Cumbria Sport and, of course, BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra to this potential Challenge Cup upset. There's still just the 8 points in it. Curtis Tier flying down the right-hand side. The ball has been ripped out of possession, though, with 3 in the tackle. Before he was moved into touch.
He's pulled that out.
That was right in front of the touch, Judge.
He pulled that out there, Dan. I'm sure he did.
I imagine the touch judge just told
maybe
the referee.
Not, because he's going to the centre of the field.
Yeah, York are going to get possession back. Yeah, but that looked to be ripped out of his hands before he was put into touch. Nevertheless, York are going to get possession back. These officials have been made to work hard tonight, haven't they?
Yeah, the touch judge there definitely signalled for a rip out.
So play the ball then for York. Up towards their own 30 now. Sangare takes the forward pass, not being spotted. It's been spotted by the hundreds of Raiders fans beneath our feet, but by nobody else as the play continues towards this right-hand side then. York moving up towards the halfway, 24 minutes on the clock. Raiders 6, York 14. No points scored in this second half as of yet. Raiders still believe. The fans still believe. Will this York team kill off that momentum now? They've still got a few tackles to go. 30 metres out. Hingano has hoofed that one up high. There's a 2-on-1 situation. It's been collected by Broadbent, trying to be forced into touch. He's done extremely well there to take the ball under immense pressure and stay in field, Graham.
Yeah, he did really, really well. I thought they were going to try and drag him over the touchline, but you're not allowed to do that.
So Barrow slowly trying to make their way downfield.
That's a great run.
Great angled run there from Ellis Robson. But it was...
Good idea that as well, just switching a point of attack.
Raiders now then, with Ellis Archer who's come onto the field. Throw this one from one side to the other, trying to find a way through. Bouncing off a couple of tackles there before eventually being held up. Still playing off their own 30-metre mark, trying to find any kind of way through this Super League defence. The ball has come loose. It's been collected by a Yorkshire. It's going to be Justin Sangare who drops on that ball. And now with 23 minutes to go, York are 40 metres out with a fresh set. The small travelling fans contingent behind the post there, just making the voices heard as the York team are trying to suck the atmosphere out of this Raiders crowd this evening. Raiders 6, York 14, 22 to go until full time. York have got some space on this left side. Can they find a way through? Bouncing off 1-2 tackles, eventually being held on the 10 before the referee blows his whistle. He's going to pull this one back, is he? And penalise the Raiders once more. You see that one was
if anything, this is what's going to aid York now, because they're being gifted field position because of the Raiders' ill discipline there, and that's what's just going to put them back in the ascendancy, I think.
So the referee waves play on. York now on the 10. Prime opportunity for them to put this game to bed. Moving towards the right-hand side now. Again, they've got a 3-on-3 scenario, but the Raiders do well to scramble across and complete the tackles. It's going to come back in towards centre field now then. Looking around. Again, a good tackle complete. The ball has come out there, has it? But the referee once more.
High tackle that again. Oh, that's what he's give.
He's blown the whistle for a high tackle against
but again,
Liam Harris.
The half-back Liam Harris, he was going down anyway towards the ground. So it'll be frustrating that for the Raiders defenders.
So York now then out towards this right side. Third set on the bounce inside the 20-metre mark. Now find themselves just a few metres away. Ball was bobbling around there, was that? The play continues nevertheless. They've set up some shape on this right-hand side. Can they get the ball over? They can. Trying to scramble back on towards the inside. Raiders defence do well to complete that tackle. And once again, the referee has blown his whistle. Is it going to be another penalty against the Raiders? I think it is. He is going to stop the clock now.
Somebody's going to walk again, aren't they?
Well, he's not happy about something here, is Liam Moore.
I think he's spotted somebody catching him late after the ball had gone. I do feel more nervous when they look to hit that right-hand edge, York. Like I say, Sam Wood, he's a big threat on that right edge. Halfbacks are just starting to come into it a little bit, aren't they? 6 and 7. Hingano on this left edge. Liam Harris out on that right edge.
You just say 6-7 there, Graham.
6-7, yeah. I can't remember what you said. That
It doesn't matter.
the relevance of that was again.
20 minutes to go until full time. Still waiting for the first points of the second half to be scored.
Well, we said, let's see if they can keep them to 0 for 20 minutes, and then anything could happen.
Raiders now then. Can they defend? Keep up the great defensive duties they've done against the Super League side. They've kept them out for the opening 20 minutes of this second half, but it's going to be the fourth set in a row for York inside the Raiders 20-metre mark. They currently find themselves on the 10.
This is energy sapping for the Raiders, by the way, Dan.
Drop of the shoulder. Change of direction out towards that right side. Shifting again towards this left-hand side. Looking for the kick through. Opted for the pass instead. Trying to cut the ball back in towards the middle. Creating the space in the left-hand corner. Can they find a line? Yes, they can. That will be it. That will be the game-winning try, you'd imagine, at this stage for this York Knights team. It's Barrow Raiders 6. It's York Knights 18. And now will we see the floodgates open? We're not too sure. But the fans aren't happy. Boos. Not against the team, much more against the officials there, Graham.
Yeah, I think so there. They just got it out to this left edge, didn't they? And the centre did well. Bishop to just hold the defence just while I'm just trying to catch the skies. Yeah. Mikal Williams.
That's his second try of the evening for Williams. First try of this second half. Now the scoreline reads Raiders 6, York 18. Kick to come. Never say never, Graham, but it's a big ask, you know.
It is now. It is.
They've done well to hold them out for the first 20 minutes of the second half, with 12 men on the field, of course. But 4 sets in a row inside their own red zone. It was just a bit too much to ask that time.
Well, each set, they do reckon that if you get a repeat set, and then you go to the third, they reckon in the third you score. So they held them out till the fourth.
Just chuckling at the social media feed there from Barrow Raiders. Penalty after penalty, and no idea why. Not my words. That's the words of the Barrow Raiders social media account. As a kick then from this far left-hand side. Looking to add another 2 on the board is Harris. Is absolutely nowhere near, as you can tell by the ironic cheers from the Raiders fans
Liam
behind
Harris,
him.
yep. Team captain. So he's still got 70 points before he racks up 1,000 career points.
There's your stat man. I do love a good stat, Graham. I've actually written down something quite interesting as well. When I seen Jared Stack was starting for the first time this season, he's been a prolific player and an epic try scorer as well in his time. His last try here on home soil, April 2023. Almost 3 years have gone by before the former captain has scored here.
Long time between drinks.
His last try was in August of 2024. He had a scoreless season last year. But still, as he approaches the big 4-0, still puts a good shift in. What's he got left in the tank for the final 17 minutes here? Raiders 6, York 18. York moving inside the Raiders half now, down this left-hand side, picking up the pace. They found the space down that left edge. The ball is cut back inside towards the centre. The ball has been lost. And the referee's going to indicate that was a forward pass, though, from Scott Galliano. So it's going to be a scrum down, head and feed to the Raiders on their own 10. A few more ironic cheers from the Raiders fans in the stands this evening.
They're just struggling. I know they've had a few penalties go against them, but they're just struggling to get away from their own line, aren't they, at the moment, and break into this York half of the field.
So Raiders now then have 90 metres to go. Timer ticking, 16 minutes left and need at least 2 converted tries to bring this one level. Now the referee blowing up, penalising York that time. Holding down in the tackle, so it's going to be a kick to touch, deep downfield. Fair bit of distance on that one then, so it's going to be Raiders tap restart off the 30 then. Moving this one across to the forwards where Joe Bullock, the ball has been knocked on there. It was unfortunate, he bounced off 3 York defenders before opting for the offload. But it was knocked
Tom
on.
Walker just not expecting that ball.
So it's going to be York that get possession back.
Yeah, these are the killers. This is the sort of area now that and sort of stages of play that sort of define a score, and this is why teams like York maybe could run out 10-15 points.
So Raiders now back on defensive duties once more. Final 15 minutes of this game to play. Raiders 6, York 18. Mikal Williams with the only points of this second half, his second try of this Challenge Cup round 3 fixture. Big massive run there from the French international Justin Sangare. He's going to go to the left, and as he's gone over the line, the referee has indicated he's knocked that ball on. Great defence from the Raiders then, Graham.
Yeah, brilliant defence on the last gasp there. Both teams are losing possession quite a bit now, aren't they, Dan?
Yeah, it's been a sloppy, hasn't it, compared to the first half?
Yeah. And I'm just struggling to see how the Raiders they can get up this field.
Yeah, it seems even in possession they've been camped back so deep inside their own half, and it's not like for lack of effort, but they're just struggling to find a way through this Super League defence as Joe Bullock now once again.
And the thing is, they've worked so hard, especially in that first half hour of the game, to stay in the game and keep York at bay. You know, this is when it'll be telling now. There'll be bodies sort of hurting out there now and tired. Another penalty.
Penalised once again, so Raiders.
It's one way of getting up the field, I suppose.
Ryan Johnston. He's going to hoof this one downfield then. Just past the halfway mark. Just before the halfway mark. Raiders going to restart on their own 40 then. Johnston with a long cross-field pass. It falls into the hands. Moving back infield there from the Raiders forwards. Since eventually the tackle is no metres gained that time. 30 minutes to go. Raiders once again.
Good run. That's the sort of work they need to complete. They can't afford to just go sideways and lateral. They've got to pull this defence around a little bit.
Ellis Robson then tackled just over 30 metres away from the York line as Brad Walker gets this one out to Bullock. Bullock tries to re-angle his run right through the middle, almost found some space, but plenty of options now for Barrow. As Ryan Johnston, crossfield kick towards the sticks. It's fell right into the lap of the York defender there. He's got support on his right-hand side. And that was a bounce of a ball away from being something completely different. Yeah. And just like that, York find themselves on the Raiders, inside the Raiders half now.
Yeah, it can just happen sometimes like that. The ball bounces up and it's in a broken defensive line, so you've got space to run into. Fortunate there with York.
So no sooner had Barrow gone through everything they could and a couple of penalties to get inside that York half, now find themselves defending again 30 metres in front of their own line. Massive tackle put in that time. Two massive tackles.
Walker again. Great.
Yeah, Walker's geared up for finishing this final 12 minutes as York are looking to get yet another try on that board. As it's currently Raiders 6, York 18. A drop of the shoulder once more, edging towards the line. It's going to be just enough for York's fourth of the evening. Second of this second half. Raiders 6, York 22. That'll be game, set and match, Graham Dale.
Well, I think it will be now, yeah. Like you say, they just plundered over the line there. And I think that's just tired bodies against even more tired bodies. You know, they've come wide, York. They've thrown the ball around left, right. They've not managed to score. The Raiders have held them out. And then they've just got there. They managed to get up to halfway, lost the ball, back down, and then somebody's plundered and plunged over for a simple try. And like you say, the game's gone. I think the game had gone anyway. But the chances of the Raiders getting another score, I don't know. If they could have just got another score, it would have been a very interesting last 5-10 minutes.
It's just a shame that we don't have a TV or camera crew set up anywhere, isn't it, Graham, that we can watch these replays and zoom in on these corners and see who's scoring. That's a subtle hint to the media team inside the box there.
I mean, the thing is, Dan, the biggest sort of compliment we can play the Raiders at the moment is that we're talking like this. If they couldn't have just nicked a try, if they couldn't have just, the last 10 minutes would have been tight and York would have been worried. I'm sure throughout this game they've realised after half an hour they're in a game. They haven't realised. I'm sure they haven't thought to themselves, we're gonna win this 40 points. There's a reason why Paul Vaughan's still on that bench and he's not come back on. They've got a big game Thursday.
Yeah.
And he's thought, I'm not sending him back out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's going to need him Thursday.
Right, it's been a good run out for
And
both
again,
of these sides.
That's another compliment to this Raiders side.
Raiders 6, York 22, another unsuccessful conversion attempt. In the other late kick-off this evening, it's North Wales Crusaders 0, Lee 18. Plenty more fixtures tomorrow as well. Starting off the afternoon battle, we'll be hosting Catalan. Halifax against Goole will be an interesting matchup. Keighley versus Midlands, London Bradford, Oldham Dewsbury, Rochdale Wigan, and Swinton against Wakefield. That completes the Sunday Challenge Cup third round fixtures, and it's from kick-off. I think they've just gone.
Didn't go 10.
Didn't go 10, did it not? So it's going to be. They were trying for the short one, but the wind has held the ball up. York are going to get the penalty on the halfway from kick-off. And he's through the corner where there is Liam Harris. He just wants to hoof that one into touch, and you can kind of get an idea there of how strong this wind is this evening. But from kick-off then, Raiders back on defensive duties as York now move within 30 metres. Final 10 minutes of this game. Nothing but consolation for the Raiders if they can get possession back. Barrow 6, York 22. Not quite the upset that the Raiders fans that have turned up this evening were hoping for, but they put in a great effort for at least the first hour of this match. They were well and truly still in this game, but York have just proved their strength, power and fitness far too much, and they're going once again. It's going to be another quick try here, and they are killing this game off in the final few moments of this match. It's now Raiders 6, York 26.
Yeah, it's like you say, they're just tired bodies they're running at now. They're just finding that space. There isn't that extra yard of sort of defence to scramble. But the amount of effort that's been put in is what you can see out there now. That's allowing these York. I'm sure. So we said before the game that York will definitely not be coming here and taking these guys lightly, and that's what they haven't done. And I would say this is the first minute of the game where they've had it easy. Scoring tries wise, I mean.
I think that was a third of the evening, shall I say, for Williams there, I think, Graham. We didn't quite
Get
catch
a
the
hat trick.
Yeah.
He sent Vaughan back on and all after I said he hasn't.
What do you know? What are you on about? It's only OKR on a Thursday night.
I reckon he sniffed there might be a cheap try going. Don't tell him I said that.
So it's a change of kicking duties. This time it's a successful one as well, as Nikai Williams puts another 2 points on the board, making the scoreline here Raiders 6, York 28 now. I think the 3 quick tries is a bit of an unfair reflection of Raiders' efforts, isn't it, Graham? But
we're in that territory now, Dan, where they're running, like Steve said at half time. I won't be surprised. They could run out 36 points or something in the last 20 minutes. But we've got to the last. How many minutes are left?
7 minutes to go.
7 minutes to go.
7 to go until full time in this Challenge Cup third round. There's not going to be any fairy tale story here this evening at Craven Park, the Northern competitions. But I hope you've enjoyed yourself tuning in from wherever you are in the world, listening to this BBC Radio Cumbria Sport broadcast on the BBC website and the app, of course, and to all our extra listeners on the BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra channels. Plenty of media coverage for the Raiders team and plenty of eyes on this York Knights team as they prepare for their first ever Super League campaign up Thursday night.
Yep.
Hull KR and a sold out LNER Stadium in York. It's going to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, I honestly do wish them all the luck.
Forward pass there in that build-up.
Yeah,
right edge.
You like to see a team that's come up like this that we've seen for a few years on years play at you said Craven Park then, at the Northern Ford. Christ. Blooming heck. Tell you what, I'll shut up.
That'll do. I'll let Graham.
I'm worn out myself.
Put his head back together as T. Ritson then. He's still trying to find a way through here at Craven Park, the Northern Competition Stadium.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Can you smell the money, Graham?
Yeah.
Another penalty against York then, as Ryan Johnston kicks this one deep downfield. Great kick from the Raiders, number 7.
I do think they're going to make sure they have to keep Paul McShane on the field, because he's massive to this team. You can see it now, Dan, can't you?
Yeah.
They have lacked since he's left the field.
So Raiders now then shifting this one over towards Joe Bullock, who's put again another guy that's put a big shift in. And final 5 minutes to go. I'll come to you shortly, Graham, for the player of the match, because Raiders here have just got back to one once again. Ryan Johnson tries to dribble that one through. He's appeared to be taken out after the kick. I think he's trying to milk that one slightly.
He is, isn't he?
He's the Raiders half-back. He's still on the floor though. The referee's having none of it. Absolutely none of it.
Milking that a bit, wasn't he?
Even his own teammates are leaving him there. But he is being seen by the physio. We laugh and jest. We do hope that there isn't any serious kind of injury there to the Raiders captain, Ryan Johnston. So we are going to have a slight pause here. So it is that moment, Graham, with 4 minutes to go until full time for your player of the match this evening.
The whole pack, as they've had to do in order to compete in this game tonight, have been outstanding. Some have left the pitch more than others. But my man of the match goes for his sheer determination and that little bit of class as well, Joe Bullock.
So Joe Bullock awarded your BBC player of the match then this evening, as we've still got a stoppage in play here, as the Raiders number 7 Ryan Johnson is receiving treatment for what appeared to be a little bit of not so quite Oscar winning performances. But now maybe we're eating our own words, as the Raiders halfback is eventually back up to his feet. Thumbs up from the doctor. He's okay to carry on. Maybe just wanted a bit of a rest, Graham.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. It's Saturday night.
I'll have to message him tomorrow about that, and he can clear it up for me, what exactly happened.
Raiders 6, York 28. 4 minutes to go until full time. 3 quick tries inside of 10 minutes in this second half is what's killed this game off. And somewhat of a unfair reflection, some might think, to the Raiders' efforts this evening, but they definitely kept this Super League side on their toes for the opening hour of this match, and they're still giving it a good go now, even with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's been a proper competition.
12 against 12 as well. It was a feisty one in that first half, as Williams now looking for yet another try this evening, moving down that left edge. He's eventually tackled, wrapped up by no fewer than 3 Raiders defenders, as the York team still looking for them points, moving that one out towards the right-hand side. It's a great kick through towards that right-hand corner. It's been lost, it's been bobbling around, it's still loose. It's eventually collected. Referee's going to blow his whistle. And it's going to go against the Raiders here. So York are going to regain possession on the 10-metre mark. 3 minutes to go until full time. Raiders 6, York 28. York within 10. Looking for yet another try here. 3 already in this second half to kill this one off. Moving out towards this left side. Raiders flying out looking for the interception. The interception was missed. Play continues. They managed to scramble back and complete the tackle though. It's a quick play the ball. Again going down the short side with a man mounting. That is Paul Vaughan. The man that was never going to come back on the field has come onto the field, Graham. And he's got that 4th try of the second half for the York Knights.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say they kept him quiet.
Well, you did say he was a big influence in this team, and he's proved that as he's come back off the bench there with 2 minutes to go on the clock. He's put another try on the scoreboard. Raiders 6, York 32 now.
Today's man of the match, sponsored by Neil Comer, is Barrow's number 10, Joe Bullock.
For the first time, I think, Graham, in years, the sponsors choose the same one as yourself.
It must be sober.
So Joe Bullock awarded the sponsors and BBC player of the match this evening.
Yeah, I'm sure Joe, knowing Joe, the little bit that I do, as soon as this draw came out and he knew the players that they would be playing against, you know, obviously a massive friendly rivalry as soon as the whistle finishes, you know, but you want to outdo your opposite number, you know. And like you say, when you look at Paul Vaughan, how he burst onto the scene at Warrington, you know, he was well, he still is. He's a massive athlete.
It's another ironic cheer from the Raiders fans as that ball goes way wide of the mark here. The scoreline remains Raiders 6, York 32. And it's nice to see that the rugby league fans, Raiders fans down there, are still having fun, Graham.
Yeah, they're enjoying themselves. Just as well, it's not a penalty shootout, isn't it? Really.
They gave him a good fight for the opening hour of this match. Just the final 20 minutes. 4 tries for the Super League outfit has killed this one. They stayed calm and patient. They understood that the key man was taken off the field in the first half, Paul McShane, for that red card, alongside Greg Richards. But I literally, Dan, I don't think they've looked the same team without him. He brings a sense of calm to his game. He plays the game like he's got half an hour to do things, you know. And he, like you say, he gets them round the field. He's a really intelligent kicker of the ball. There goes the full-time hooter then on the referee's whistle. Puts an end to this contest. A tough night for the Raiders. Plenty of effort, but York's pace, execution and everything else that goes with it from the Super League told in the end. One of those results that you'll park up quite quickly. You'll take lessons from it and we'll move on to next week in that fixture against Whitehaven. But as a summary from you, Graham, I think it all came down to that last 20 minutes, did it not?
Well, I think, to be fair, I think it's played out. Where we said the best case scenario for Barrow, it has kind of played out. And in the last quarter of an hour is when they've scored, like you say, 3-4 quick tries. Just dead bodies running out of space. But the Raiders did. They started the game on the back foot. York scored twice. The Raiders hung in there, really got stuck in and bed down with the defence. Then they started to get a little bit of luck themselves. They got a couple of decisions went their way, which gave them a bit of field position. Then they started to break the line of York and put York under pressure, who then lost their discipline. We had players on and off the field, sent off, red card, yellow card, and that kind of evened the game up a little bit. And then the Raiders scored just before half time, and they come out second half. And we said that they had to score first. They didn't quite score first, but what they did, these are milestones that Paul Carrera will be looking at as high points of the game. First and second 20 of both halves, they held York. So, and we always said that let's get to the last 20. If we're still in the game, let's see where we are. Well, in the last 20, they were in the game. It's just that it went the other way. It could have gone another way on another night, but it didn't. But that's more likely to happen because you've got at least, I think they signed, 12 signings, Super League players, you know, so that extra knowledge, that extra muscle memory, you know, of playing at a faster pace and heavier bodies, strong bodies, full-time players, that's another big thing. Is what the difference was in the teams.
Raiders 6 then, York Knights 32. Up next, York start on a Thursday. They start their first ever Super League campaign against the champions Hull KR. It's going to be a fascinating contest, that one. As for Barrow, little bit more of a realistic fixture. They've got a couple of away games on the spin now. Next up it's Whitehaven, followed by Sheffield. Testing times for the Raiders now. They've come across their first defeat of the season, albeit against Super League opposition, but one eye on that Haven fixture next time out, Graham. It's going to be a classic.
Yeah, it's like you said, I'm just rerunning that game in my head, you know, how it went, and I'm impressed. I really am impressed. I said to Paul last time I interviewed him that this game would give him a marker of where they are against proper quality Super League opposition, and he said he was looking at that himself as a marker, and I'm sure he'll be happy. He'll go home, even though he scored 4 tries in the last quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know, he'll be happy at what his team's achieved. And again, and another big thing is, them players will be happy at what they've achieved as a squad. So they'll know that they don't need to fear anybody in this championship this year. They are genuine top 4 material. Depends whether the levels of performance maintain or drop as to whether they do or not. Form's eternal, class is forever, they say, don't they?
Well, only time will tell. Will the Raiders continue this strong form into the championship campaign? Will they be a top 4 contender this year? They put up a spirited performance against an outstanding Super League team. It was just that final 20 minutes. York were just a little bit too much for the Raiders to handle. It's finished here at Craven Park, the Northern Competition Stadium. The Barrow Raiders 6, York Knights 32. Until the next time, stay classy, Cumbria.